What are we down?
And I mentioned it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Morning. We're missing a mic. Oh. Not here. He is out fighting fires, so I will attempt to be your chairman today. I'm quite not on here. So let me. The first thing on the agenda is the board minutes for July 26th.
I'll move to accept the minutes.
A motion was made and I'll second it. Do we do any public comment on the minutes?
I got some comments, but I'm gonna save that for this, well, it's 11:15, the resolution,
Okay,
so imagine it there.
okay, all right. So all in favor of board minutes?
Aye.
Aye. So the next on the agenda is 5 minutes and I will be able to get on and.
There's your correspondence.
Okay. We will. Here. Join Zoom. So, but you have comments you want to make, but you did accept the board minutes, correct?
Right.
Okay. Okay, 9:03, we have correspondence. And we have one email from Craig Larson. And what he's stating, in the past couple months, 2 of the concrete barriers that line the hill on the southwest side of Black Pine Road have been knocked over by vehicles traveling at excessive speeds and crashing into them. And as first question, I would like to ask to have the road department upright the barriers to prevent vehicles from going over the edge onto the property that is now occupied where it wasn't in previous years. And the second, I would like you to have the road department post speed limit signs on Black Pine Road, as well as ask the sheriff's office to assign deputies to emphasis patrols on Black Pine Road for safety purposes.
Anybody talk to Paul?
I forwarded that email to him.
Okay.
You sent the email to Paul. Okay, so that would have been, this would pretty much been taken care of then.
I didn't hear anything back. I sent it over last week, but
He'll probably do it, or maybe we should get a hold of him, make sure he does it.
Okay.
And then, as far as speed limit, I think we gotta go jump through some hoops on that. It was like 35. It's like 25.
So on the post, the speed limit signs on Black Pine Road. Is that something that would have to be in the future on the agenda, or does it already have speed
I
limit
think-
signs? Okay, so Billy, I guess we'll put this where we can speak with the sheriff's office and the road department for speed limit signs. That's it that we have, all we have for correspondence. Oh, that's stamping. This set right? Yes. Good job, Billy. Okay, we're right into public comment on matters within the commissioner's jurisdiction. Do I have any public comment? Any public comment on Zoom? I don't see anybody on there.
we've got Jen Robinson on.
Yeah. I see Jen. Oh,
Eric and Wayne Gagliano, on the correspondence, that last one that you read, that letter, is that gonna be online, or is it online already?
It's online.
It is, okay, thank you. So he lives in Vegas, so we can to visit him. And then we can see both of them.
so Chuck, if
I'm watching my mother, usually it's.
We don't have road and bridge.
She sits herself down at the spot.
Can we bump this up? Things, there's nobody on Zoom either,
Sits at the 7.
except for these guys out here.
Up to the lane, I guess.
Oh,
But yeah, let's do it. I'm pretty.
As long as the line wasn't on, she's okay.
So we are in public comment. If anybody has public comment, did you have a comment to make?
I was just wondering how the traffic deal at Badger Bay was coming. If there any updates on that?
No, what?
The traffic at Badger Bay, we were here at the last meeting. And they were gonna try and get the machine fixed that shows speed limit, and I was just wondering how that was going.
Were you able to talk with Glenn Bradshaw? I had seen he emailed the other homeowner that was here with you, about
Molly,
that road, yeah, Molly. And I can't remember precisely what the email had stated, but I believe that road is still Forest Service.
Georgetown Lake Road,
Or no, that area, I think.
okay,
But I can't remember exactly. That was the last I had heard on it, but I knew there was an emailing going back and forth between Blaine and Molly on that.
Okay.
I don't know if I have any of it.
So we're talking about Lake Shore?
Yeah, I think it was,
Lake Shore Road over at Badger Bay. There's a stretch of pavement there that people seem to think is a raceway.
That's what happens when you pave them.
Yeah, we had some really, really nice potholes and they fixed them. I know they have the same problem over at Eccleston Bay. Where all the boats are at and the kids are playing and stuff like that. Traffic going through there is, I was just talking to Eccleston this morning, or Lauren Mays. And he said they got a heck of a problem there also. They're just trying to get it reduced down to 15 miles an hour if they can.
Did I have you state your name?
Plain Messer.
Okay, just to make sure. I'm just relieving the chairman, so.
Okay.
So how would we do that? It's actually a Forest Service road.
And, okay, there was an email from Blaine, right? You're saying, Billy?
yeah, I can't find it in my emails, but it was between Blaine and Molly, the other homeowner, because I remember she had asked for some additional information and he had sent it to her, and in that email chain back and forth, he had talked to her about the fact that it was a Forest Service road, and I feel like he connected her with the Forest Service district here. But I feel like Blaine might be the better person to ask.
Okay.
He's not out here yet.
Is he coming?
Let me
Getting blown in here.
see. I don't know.
So you just want a section of the road 15?
Yeah, around the lake on Lake Shore Road, I guess there are a couple of other areas that are 15. And we got signs up that are 15 miles an hour, and
All right.
they were
Okay, thank you.
Rico, the policeman was saying that it's not legitimate. He doesn't know where the 15s came from, but they've been there I've been there since '92, and they're there. And they were gonna talk about doing a study on it or something. And possibly that study's already been done. You know, there's several places that have already got 15. The campgrounds are 15, so if it's Forest Service, maybe it's supposed to be 15. you know, the campgrounds are all 15.
So here comes Blaine now. We can get an answer from him. Hey, Blaine,
Morning. Morning, how's it going? Good.
so he was wanting to know what's going on with Badger Bay,
Right. Speed limit.
the speed limit, and you sent an email to the homeowners and what?
Yeah.
Determined that it
to,
was a Forest Service
Yeah, the
road.
county controls that as Forest Service, so potentially start with them on the speed limit. They may come in and Forest Service may come to talk to the county. I think that would be the start. I sent an email, but maybe didn't.
I didn't see
Did,
it.
okay.
You may have sent it to Molly.
Yeah, Molly, I can forward it to you if you'd like.
That'd be fine.
Yeah. Let's see, what's your email address?
June, June 1480. At Hotmail.
Okay, I'll forward that to you today. Yeah, sorry, I didn't get it to you as well. Yeah. And,
Because there are signs up 15 already.
yeah, so, yeah, and they would be under, Forest Service would be under different rules in the county, so.
So maybe it's
Yeah,
already designated.
yeah, so,
15.
yeah, potentially, yeah,
Rico
more
was
signs up,
Rico was one telling me that he can't enforce it because it's not legitimate. Well, maybe it is.
yeah, let's, yeah, let's look into that. I'll talk to Cameron Razor as well, but, yeah, I think they should be enforcing them, so, yeah, okay.
Yeah, Rico's been doing a lot of setting up their
Yeah, okay,
radar
good.
and stuff.
Good.
And they all behave when he's there.
Yeah,
And when he's not, it's quite every
story.
Okay, so we had discussed this. Was this a public comment that we had discussed?
Weeks ago.
And that was going to go on the agenda in the future? Or we were gonna get some information?
I
So let's
think,
put it on the agenda and then get the Forest Service to talk.
yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
Yeah, for you talking next week or as soon as Cameron can.
Yeah, probably next week, if we can.
Yeah,
I'll reach out to them.
so,
And then with Blaine, with your email, I'll reach out to you too, as soon as I have a time from the Forest Service when they can come in on it.
okay.
I appreciate it.
So your complaint, your kind of complaint is that the road, I remember him saying the road was in bad shape.
well,
they
this-
needed-
the speed, a different person speeding,
Oh.
speeding, yeah, those issues.
It's all speed.
So you need signs is what you need. And
Yeah, you guys were talking about that speed limit thing, I guess.
Trailer, yeah,
Trailer or something.
Yeah.
Summertime, of course, is worse because it's heavier.
Yeah.
And we've got lots of four-wheelers come through there and motorbikes and stuff.
And you reached out to the sheriff to fix that speed limit.
I
thing.
think Commissioner Adler was gonna talk to him.
Oh, okay.
I haven't talked to him yet about
So I guess next week, make sure we have
it, yeah,
information on the sign getting fixed.
Okay.
And
I'll stop the Forest Service on the way out,
yeah,
talk to them
all right,
and see you again next Monday or Tuesday.
yeah,
Yeah.
if Forest Service can be
Yeah.
here.
I'll try to get
You'll let me
them
know.
here too, yeah, I'll confirm with you, yeah.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, we are at 9:17 and Road and Bridge Weekly Report with Road and Bridge Superintendent Paul Alt, who is not here. He had kind of a dental emergency. So I don't know if you know anything on I think with that BARSSA, we were gonna discuss that when we worked on budgets, correct? What we're gonna do with those funds,
Yeah. What is that, 70,000?
yeah. And that was, and he didn't give any solid waste weekly report, so apparently everything was running normal with the dump sites.
I think once you know about the FARSA funds, then we do a resolution.
right.
so allocate.
Well, okay, so we've received the Barca funds how many years now, and it's been put into the, what is it? The.
The,
I just lost it.
Into the road fund?
I'm speaking that Barca funds were put into the, what fund?
Maintenance?
No, I mean, it has its own fund. I need a fund thing. It's a grant money that we get
so it has
from,
its own fund.
what is it? Sorry. people.
It's, yeah, the federal government funds, yeah.
That we budget and use for road. Usually it was for gravel.
Hmm.
And for culverts.
Hmm.
And I just can't spit it out.
Well, I don't know. So do we need a resolution or a motion to do a resolution to do that?
Yeah, I think once you know.
Why would
your-
we need a resolution?
I believe you do a resolution every year. They want to know where they're being allocated to, I believe, but let me look into that.
Okay. So this is grant monies that we apply for and we get, right?
Correct, yeah.
Didn't we already get it?
Yeah, I think so. Let me go get it.
It was 70,000.
Sarah, yeah.
It's $70,998.
Don't look at my
Well,
sheet.
maybe you already did a resolution.
We have done
Oh,
it yet
okay.
this year. Last year they did the resolution to do it for the milling. We feel like we
Yeah.
did that in August.
Yeah, we haven't done one this year.
Correct.
All right, good. So I thought,
So we gotta figure out where we wanna put it then.
yeah,
Yeah, I sent, Paul asked me for what the Barca money could be used for, so I sent him a copy of the statute.
So we'll have to put it off till next week with Paul.
It goes into gas tax. The money
Yeah.
does, and it tries, oops. Sorry, almost tripped.
This is a bad system.
Try to fix that. That's dangerous. Billings and stuff, they were using that gas tax for the millings. So,
so yeah, once you decide where it's going. we'll do a resolution.
well, that's why I wonder why it would have to be a resolution. If
Yeah,
it's a
my
budget
understanding-
process,
My understanding in the past is the,
well, because
what they,
we do a resolution to accept the budget, and wouldn't that be included in accepting the budget?
it could be, I think they just want to see where the monies are being allocated to, so it could be put in the budget. Yeah. Yeah. So, like,
On one final budget resolution, it could be included in that instead of a separate resolution.
I did it.
Okay, so we don't have any decision to make here, correct? I would feel that the Barca monies that have gone into the gas tax fund. I don't know. I don't think you did a resolution last year for it, did you, or did you?
yeah,
remember?
because you used funds,
Milling.
yeah,
Yeah, we put it in Billings,
yeah,
yeah.
but you're right.
I
it
think
could
they
be-
want a certain project that you're using it for, so.
And that we can decide during the budget
Yeah,
process. Because it's got the line item and it's got the money and we decide where
Okay,
it
then
goes.
we'll
Yeah,
talk to Paul.
so,
have it on again next
yeah,
week.
is there any public comment? Yes, Elena.
Lena Gagliano, for the record, I've got a comment and a question. My comment is what I've been saying a long time ago, several times, especially now we have emergencies. And Paul can't make it here, so why doesn't he give a written report? That's number one. As far as the Darissa, what are the Darissa projects? There must be projects that he's got a list of that he needs, you know, the gas money taxes for. So that should have also been available. Thank you.
Well, I think he just had an emergency last night with the two. So,
And my comment on that would be that, okay, if he does have projects that he wants to use this on, then okay, he could bring them, but they can also be brought up during the actual budget process when we're talking about where the funds are going in the gas tax fund.
Has he done already a requested budget?
Well, I think we need to get that on the agenda, start working on budgets.
It's next week.
We do? Okay, when is it on the budget?
Budget work session is next week at 11:30.
Okay. So Blaine, I have a question. Our agenda right now, I guess we would wait in case somebody came on Zoom at 9:30 to find out about the bid opening, so we would not start the agenda item until 9:30.
Yeah, correct.
Question.
Sure.
Jim Bakay, local resident. I know this is kind of out of order, but I had a comment about the Jersey Rail bids. So I was hoping I could make it before you open
Okay, so
the
the
bids.
bid openings are at 10.
The bid openings are at 10, so.
For
you
the-
can
no, it's
discuss
at
it.
9:30.
Hmm?
9:30.
Oh, 9:30. Sorry, you're here.
Well, my comment is, I looked into submitting a bid for that, and when I contacted Paul, he showed me or told me where they were, and I went and looked at them. And I said, okay, there's 100 here, there's 4 lots of 10, which lots are we talking about? And he said, well, we'll just start peeling them off from whatever's easiest to get to. And I said, well, can I at least be assured that they're gonna have the lifting cables on the side and forklift slots? And he said, no, really, it's just gonna be whatever. So I can't tell you what you're getting. I would have expected to see like a piece of tape saying lot 1 and designate what lot 1 was, so I could bid on a particular set. I don't expect to get new ones, but I don't expect to maybe go over there and get nothing but 10 trash ones either. So that's my comment, is I think to make bids on lots, you almost have to designate which pieces. It's kind of like going to a car auction and you don't know which car you're bidding on. So that's my comment. I elected not to make a bid because of that. And he said, well, that's just the way we do it. Sorry, but
Okay,
I thought I'd bring it up, maybe in the future. Y'all might consider when you, whatever it is, that you're auctioning off, actually designate what it is so that people have a little better idea. Thank you.
I agree. I agree with what you're
I
saying.
think coming back when my encouragement to the commission to do that was, rather just take the first 10, and so I guess that's the way the commission is wanting to do it, they may want to reconsider the way you do that.
Well, there's really not a first 10, no, Blaine.
And then there's.
It's the way you go, you
There's,
can get to it in 4 directions. That's what I asked him. He said, well, the downhill side. Well, there's 2 downhill sides and you still don't really know which ones you're gonna get because the way they're stacked.
so did bids come in?
I have 2.
Okay. Yeah, I agree, though, and that's my advice, is to do it in lots of marked lots. So people know that,
Right. So,
whether you do that or not is up to the commission.
well, yeah, that makes sense to me.
Well, I don't know, I mean, it's gotta be random, I mean, because we can't sell all the ones with the lifting cable. Because then we'll end up with all of them without lifting cables, I mean, so I think it's gotta be just kind of. These are kind of like a false end, kind of. These are there and. That's the ones.
What-
Be a mixed
okay.
lot.
But what you were asking is you didn't know which ones to look at to bid on because they weren't sectioned out.
Right, I understand I may have gotten out of a lot of 10, Chuck, I may have got 2 or 3 that were in pretty bad shape. But from what Paul said. I may have got shown up and they may have pulled out 10 that were in horrible shape. So that's why I asked about the lifting cables. Can I at least have some idea of what I'm bidding on? He's
Right.
like, no, it's just the first 10 we would pull out. I said, where are you gonna start? He said downhill. I said, well, that doesn't really tell me the way these are stacked. I still don't know which 10 I'm gonna bid on, or
Do you need 10?
I'm
Do
sorry,
you need 10?
do I need 10? I was gonna, well, they were in lots of 10s, so I was gonna get 10, but I don't actually need that many, but I was gonna see who else needed them up there on the hill where I live. I figured somebody could use them.
I think what he'll do is, I think, well, just guessing those bids that are coming in are gonna be low, but that's my guess. Just people didn't know which ones are, but yeah, it's also a time issue and other things, so that's the commission's call on how you do that.
Carol, okay, the question, you said you think the bids will be low,
Yeah, that's
and
what,
so
yes.
if someone bid $1, is that a fair price to, say, okay, just because you're the only one bidding, here you go? Is that what you're gonna do? Is that how? Just a question,
Yeah.
how do you do it?
My advice would be for them, the commission to accept that because there was no minimum bid given, they're excess and they're basically not needing them, and so that was the thought. I don't want to put words in the commission.
No?
I think we have to, because we didn't
Yeah.
put them there.
Because there wasn't,
Okay, so the wording, we accept the bids for, it would have had lot this and this for a minimum, whatever.
Yeah, there's
So
no
that's the
minimum
way it
bid
would
on
have
it.
done. Alright.
okay, it is 9:30.
I think we're just bidding them because we can't give them away. Right?
Yeah. This is supposed to go through the process.
Bid for Jersey Rails. Their letter opener there.
Oh, no, that's.
Is there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so these are what, lots of 10? Second at 8:30. They both came in at 8:30 on August 2nd. So it doesn't matter which one I open. So bid of $5 each on 20 Jersey Rails, total of 100 for 20. Dave Kessler, Black Pine Road, Phillipsburg, Montana. Bid for Jersey Rails. 103 total for 10 Jersey Rails, David Kessler. Is that the first or the second? So he's bid on 2 bids.
Yep. Well, there's
Is that the
Dave,
total?
there's Dave
that-
Senior and Dave, well, Dave the second, Dave the third.
So is
potentially,
that,
Oh,
So it
that's-
could be both.
Yeah. David First is buried, no?
Yes, yeah, he's,
yeah,
So Commissioner's office,
Hey, Black Scott.
hey
Sorry.
Scott. So we're right now in the process of opening the bids for the Jersey rails, and we got 2 bids. One
Okay,
from David Kessler 3 for $5 each on 20 Jersey rails, and 1 bid from David Kessler 2, $103 total for 10 Jersey rails.
I'll make a motion to accept both bids.
Okay, a motion's been made to accept both bids.
I second it.
Okay. All in favor?
or public
Public
comment.
comment.
Oh,
Public comment.
whoops. See, no, seeking. Any public comment?
You about that local resident, are you gonna rebid the 3? It sounds like we only had 3 lots bid on. This is the 4th
So
lot.
there's one left, right?
So,
Why don't you say the first one to match that, the bid? Give it a priority to someone that matches that bid. That's what I'd say, so you don't have to put it in the paper and that expense again.
so what can we do?
Cost more to put paper than the thing's worth.
Yeah, I would just accept the first, offer that equals the highest bid,
Okay, so
Yeah.
So it'd be 103 for 10.
yeah.
That's Carol's blockade. So why did you choose that as the minimum now? Where before there wasn't a minimum?
Well,
Just curiosity.
just, my advice, so they don't have to, bid it out again, because it's gonna cost the county more than it's worth, so.
Well, there's
My
a
thought.
value on them now,
Yeah,
so there wasn't a value on them before, so they bid that 103 for 10. So we could offer the last 10 for 103.
you created a value now. Good point.
That'll just go with what we sold and call it good for a quick monkeying around costing the county a bunch of money for nothing.
we have a comment from Elaine.
The record, Elena Gagliano, a comment, a question. How many lots are there?
4.
4 lots.
And they put a bid in for all 4?
So
or
we've
just
got,
two?
no, just 3 lots. There's still a lot available.
So then I would think if there's somebody interested here, just ask him what he'd like to get that lot for. And if he says $10, then that's it. So you don't have to advertise it again. He's here, he wants it.
No, because we can't do it. No.
Well, like they said, now there's
We
a
could do it
value
for
on
high
them.
bid for 10.
There's
Why
value
should he
on
put it
them.
back in?
So we'd probably say, well, offer, and I guess we'll say whatever we'll say, right?
I don't think you can
Right.
put it back out in the paper. It's
No.
costing you, it would cost you more than what you're gonna get for them.
That'll just call it done and that's it, just so we can move on, right?
Are you interested in the lot or?
Yep,
Would you take 10, 1 lot of 10 for 103?
I wouldn't.
that's $10. Yeah, that's double.
No, okay.
Thank you.
I
Okay.
got a sealed bid if you want. It's a little late.
So would you take,
Yeah, that's evident.
So-
My pocket is still sealed.
would you take, would you take, 1 lot for $103 if you picked your own?
No, I need to take them all there.
Well, no, he
Yeah.
could take 10, but can he pick his own, Scott? I mean, maybe some aren't worth
Well,
picking.
I thought we set this up, there's just each one's there and that's what they are. Otherwise, we're gonna be taking some from here. Next thing you know, they'll be overtaking some from another place. These are the ones that Paul set up and That's what they should do.
Okay, but the question was, when you went and looked at them, were they just moved off to the other side? They were all together, Scott. There wasn't any sectioned off to look at, to bid on. They were all in the same pile. Is that what you're saying? So you can't say that take what you get, because there wasn't anything there to look at.
What was the low bid?
The low bid was $5 each.
You saying you'd accept that?
You know, the guy should.
Yeah.
Who's this that's wanting them?
Jim McKay, he said he would be willing to do the low bid that came in, the $5 each.
Wow.
I think it'd have to go for the high bid.
What do you think? What's it? What do you think?
I think 10,
I'm with-
103. I mean, if they want them, take them.
Yeah, that's your thing.
I don't know how you pick them up. I don't know if you just one place, you gotta go in there and pick them up or whatever, but it'd be just
Okay,
random, whatever's next. Go.
Otherwise, it's going costing us a bunch of money, then they're gonna start wanting to dig through that whole 100 and some pile of them. We're not gonna do that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm with you, Chuck.
okay, well, the only
Like
thing
what?
that I'm saying is that if you were saying there was a set lot and there wasn't, they were all piled together. So, I mean, he had a legitimate complaint saying that, okay, they're just gonna get what they give them or what? Is the only thing. I'm just following through on his comment made. Just a second.
Well, they all, for that kind of money, it's gonna end up costing us more money and it's worse.
Okay, so Elena has comment? Yes, Elena?
Thank you, Elena Gagliano, for the record. It says bid openings, discussion and decision, award of bid. So I assume today, since you opened it up, you got two. Jim Backay said he'll bid, so consider his bid for $5, and that's it.
No. You can't
Why?
do that
No.
after somebody's already bid.
He's
You have to
already
take the
bid.
high bid.
Yeah, but he's here
Thank you.
at this agenda item to make a bid. He may have not written it to you, but he's here. So what's the difference?
That,
Suppose Dave Kessler was here in person. And said, I here,
that,
here's my bid, $10 in
Okay.
here in person.
Yeah,
Would you
but-
take it? Wouldn't you?
Then they
I'm with
already
you.
know how the.
Okay,
other
wait,
people are bidding.
wait. These bids were closed bids. I think there was a time frame to get them in at
Okay.
such and such a time. And we can't just say, okay, you're here, you can have them. Where he could save
No.
50 cents a rail and we're gonna give them to him 50
But we
cents.
could offer them for the high bid.
So when was the date? Does anybody know?
Make-
The due date was
Oh,
the
Today was the
morning,
due date.
yeah, at 9 AM.
So, and these were received at 8:30.
And he's-
So I guess it's maybe not on the agenda. Is there, Billy, is there something that we can show that they had to be in at such and such time, please?
I'm pulling up.
That was the notice that was in
The
there.
notice, in the notice.
The notice says, 40 access Jersey Rail.
So I just agreed to vote on the, I don't know that he voted on accepting those, I just
Okay,
agreed to vote.
Says each sealed bid shall be
Encourage two vote.
Yeah, I just agreed to have a vote.
Either to me or call by 9 AM local time on August 2nd. The sealed bids will be open in a public meeting before the Board of Commissioners,
so whatever you said, was there a time frame?
It said
9
9.
AM.
Okay, so there you go. That was closed bids. We're not gonna just say, things you're here, you can have 50 cents rail. So,
thank you.
Unless they want them for the high price.
Yeah,
The 103 for.
But-
Yeah.
I mean, what's 103?
I think what you concurred is that because we had a bid for Jersey rolls at 103 for a total of 10, that we can now say, we'll give them to you for 103. So,
So you got one
Because-
lot left. If he doesn't
Oh,
want
man.
it, what are you gonna do with that?
well, then they're there.
They
And
want-
we put them out for lots of 40. I guess if no one wants the 10, they can sit there. because there's
Yeah,
a
we don't
hundred
have-
there.
So
We
they're
don't
gonna
have
sit
to
there,
give-
they're just
we
gonna
can
sell
put 'em right-
those
just-
few lots,
Move on.
right?
So I don't know why we're debating this.
Yeah, I don't either.
You just
I-
call for the vote.
I mean, we've got a closed bid for 30. We have,
That's what,
okay, just a
Go
second,
with-
just a second, Scott, sorry. We have,
It's-
a public offer, we offered this at him and he declined, so now the bids are done and set. So I make a motion, we, oh,
Oh, you already had a
sorry,
motion,
we already
sorry.
did,
Already have the motion.
okay?
Please state it.
All those in favor
Yeah.
Aye, all those in favor
of the motion,
of the motion?
Aye.
say aye.
Aye. Okay. Motion passed.
So we got rid of 30.
Okay, so we got rid of 30 rails,
that's good.
okay?
So the remaining ones are just gonna sit there,
We might need them sometime. I mean, it's not, right.
just clarification, thanks.
Well, I don't think we need any debate here.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
No.
just a question.
We're gonna,
okay, thanks, Scott. Are you gonna hang around?
Yep. Yep.
Okay, great.
oh yeah, I'm right here.
Okay, good.
What's next?
See, 9:44.
Closed
Ooh,
session.
Closed session, personnel matter. Stay on the line.
I am. Starting to flare up pretty good right there, kind of coming our way.
So which fire are you on, the Elmo?
Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to take off again now. It burnt like 10,000 acres. I've been up all night. It's starting to really take off. The wind's blowing about 40 up here on top. Don't look good. Burned up some houses.
Oh,
Pretty bad. We had it corralled. We had the lining around it, and man, that wind came and it just blew it out. Built a lot of fire line the last couple days.
So, is it in timber?
Yeah. Timber, and then there's some old relog, and it's on partially on the Indian ground and then partially on state and some other.
Okay, got 3 more trucks coming up. I can back you up to this structure. We're just gonna eyeball this for a little bit. We're supposed to work up our tower down here and right now.
Down there. Yeah, I'll back up out of the way. It burned off power line. It's wind in the air. What's next?
We have at 10, we got 3 minutes left for the bid openings for the Hall House
Oh.
maintenance. Hall House.
Okay, just in case it blows up here, I'll have to get out because it's starting to come pretty good.
How far away is it?
From me right now, about 300 feet.
300 feet. Maybe. you
Yeah,
better get out of
hopefully.
there.
Hopefully, that wind's kind of blowing, I'm hoping it'll blow it back into the black, but there's a whole bunch of power lines showed up here nobody knew about, so now they got us boxed in. No communication.
So 10 AM. Bid openings for Hall House maintenance. There's no bids. So do we just table it or what? Or what happens?
Well, we put it back out again, just, but see if anybody would bid on it, but right now we gotta make up our mind whether we're gonna try to paint it or put siding on it, and it's cheaper, I think, to put siding on if we go to do it, or let's wait until after the summer hits and slows down, maybe we can pick up somebody then, and, or we can talk into, you know.
Yeah, that's a
I
good
had
idea.
one guy looked at it, and it's just, he don't have time, he's one person, and it's gonna cost a lot of money to try to paint.
That's a good idea to wait till after the summer.
Okay, yeah, I think so too. Mm.
Didn't they say that it'd probably beyond even painting though, even needed siding or?
Well, he's saying that it might be cheaper to have it sided than trying to steam it all off and scrape it, and it's gonna cost a lot of money because it's just so not been done for 100 years. I think guy's gonna do it. He'd be best off, see if this price of steel maybe it'll go down and just tin the damn thing and be done with it forever.
Yeah, let's put it off till fall or something and maybe
No,
it won't be so busy.
Under 80,000 project, you guys could get, I mean, three. You don't have to put it out to competitive bidding, you can get, go to three.
Yeah, but let's not right now.
Yeah, I'm just saying what your options are.
Yeah.
So you made a motion.
Do we need a motion?
Do we
Yeah.
need a
Put it off?
motion?
I'll make
Yeah,
that motion,
yeah.
put it off till this fall and we can think about it and maybe somebody will become available.
I second it.
Okay. Any public comment? No public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thanks.
And what's next? I'm sorry, I had my stuff laying here and I kicked it out.
Okay, so we have coming up, dam tenders report. And then we have, Matt Pierce with mapping to discuss the emergency atlas.
Yeah, okay, on the dam tender report, I had 4 irrigators, one to, just in case I gotta get out of here, you won't be able to hear me, I just thought, is it all right, what, just say it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
If it's fine with Blanche.
Oh. I think probably I would make a judgment call and say we're not gonna get anybody on. I know it's been requested that we do get more people when we have our dam tenders report, but
We're gonna,
I think we.
you're
could-
gonna have some today, Blanche.
Okay, then we need to wait till 10:15.
I know, I'm just gonna,
let's hear what Scott has to say, because he's got a fire 300 feet from him, and we might not hear what he has to say.
Okay, so Scott, what do you have to say? Quickly.
they were gonna ask to see if they could get some more water, which I was gonna bring up anyway, the local ranchers, there's 4 or 5 different ones called and was wondering about if we could give out a little bit more water, cause Flint Creek is, damn near dry down the lower end, cause they're shutting they'll probably shut Boomer off today on Boulder Creek, trying to put more water over into Flint Creek, and it's just not good, and we all knew it was coming, and we're sitting better than about everybody, so if we can give more, yeah, we can't, it's, you know, I know the Fish and Game and that probably, I wanna be on your case Brad's on here. That's just my opinion.
Okay,
Yeah,
Now,
I don't wanna discuss the whole thing now, but I don't see how we can do that. I mean, with the FERC order plus, it looks to me like the lake's dropping like a rock. I mean, we're gonna, we start putting out
What
more now.
what is it, Chuck?
It's,
Was it 5?
Yeah, 5.52,
Okay,
you know,
sorry,
it's just so hot that, I have a theory on this. I don't know if I should go into it now. My theory is, I don't know if it's right or not, but that 30 CFS was measured actually before the dam was put in, the way I read it, anyway. So that's the normal flow in the summer, you know, whatever. So, and then, of course, the dam was put in, and then you got all that surface area. Okay,
yeah,
so, and then it was fine back, and I think there is global warming or there's something going on in the, you know.
There's definitely, I mean.
There's definitely,
yeah,
it's
there's
getting
enough
hotter,
curve.
and we don't get the rains that we used to have even 20 years ago. During the summer, off and on during the summer. So with all the surface area, and you got just a degree or two more, or whatever it is, for evaporation, and the wind blows all the time, well, that surface area is just too much. There's no replenishing. Okay, then last year, remember, Silver Bow started putting water down from Silver Lake down the other way into Silver Bow Creek. So we're not getting that now.
yeah,
And that, I think, some people say, well, it didn't make that much difference. But if you have a seep coming through all the time, even on cloudy days, at night, maybe that was enough to replenish that evaporation,
Not
and we're not getting that now. That's my theory, and that's why we're gonna have a problem, and I think we're gonna have a problem. If it doesn't rain, we're gonna have a big problem just like last year. You know, as far as the lake levels.
Like, yeah, I'll tell you my opinion when it's. I guess you're like talking.
So, I mean, it's a whole different situation, because I know, I used to keep records for my previous job for logging, and lots of times during the summer, they couldn't log because it was too wet.
mhm.
And we
I
don't see
remember
that.
that. They couldn't go in, yeah,
Mhm.
long time ago.
And that was common. That was common.
that's pretty good thinking, though, it's scary,
Boy, it is.
wow.
Yeah,
We've had a lot more droughts now than we've had in 10 years.
yeah, that's my point, yeah. And if we're not getting that Silver Lake overflow, I think that might have been just enough to make the difference, to keep it on.
Good
Well,
theory.
and then when we gave water before we had we had an option there. We went through FERC and that, we upped it for like a week. They used to ask us for a week to jump it up like 15 to 30, CFs just for a week, just to, 'cause everybody's done cutting hay and then they just want to hit it for a week, then jump back, even if we had to go back a little further than what we were.
Right.
I'll keep quiet now till it looks like it's gonna blow around me, maybe. I don't know. It's pretty bad. It's so hot up here, the snakes are even going to Flathead. There's a lot of rattlesnakes up here.
Really?
Yeah, you see their trails in the dust.
So are you in a safe area then, or, yeah?
I'm kind of a black burn right now. I'm just on the very point. The only place you can get phone service is sitting where the, if it does jump here a little bit, it could burn probably about 10 acres right next to me. But if it jumps, I can, hopefully I can go down that road and get through it, you know. I should have stayed down below, but I told Blanche and them yesterday I'd be on the phone. You should see them big planes get land in Flathead Lake, the scoopers, there's 5 of them. Wow,
Huh,
that's pretty cool watching them. Man, they're hitting it with water. They damn near drained one little lake on the backside with the helicopters yesterday. They got told they can't put no more water out of that.
so if the lake gets rough, can they still scoop?
Yeah, they got a different setup. Then they just turned to where the lake, you know, they go out a different way, and then they have to get all the fishing game, all them same things, so they can get around. Okay.
Hold off. What do you think?
It's not, yeah, it's not burnt over there. That's the problem. But once you get it back here, you can get it burned. It starts coming around. Back out this way.
I'd be down there for a couple. Hold off. For a while.
With, that's what happened yesterday. Wow, but all them are like ovals.
Oh, no.
And bad, we left the dozer. I got them into the spawn, left there. It just all up, it just over. And you're supposed to take that.
Well, if I, now we're gonna follow you, okay?
You got this right here? You got,
We don't.
okay, I'll keep listening to that.
Okay. Yeah, so with Silicon off.
Yeah.
I call him, over in Oscar.
Yeah,
We got city service. over
you
there.
won't get nobody, that's where mine is. Back down there.
Yeah, you're
I'll keep you posted though, if it starts turning, we better get our asses and head back down. We get back around the corner and that other burn, It's coming, it's coming.
that strip black dot you hit at the bottom of the cup. Sure.
I think that highway, see the powwow camp, I better go.
Yeah, those, you see those guys scattering out like ants?
All right, I'll keep listening and I'll let you know for sure.
All right, what's your name? Scott, Mike Saltus.
Glad to meet you. Sorry about that. I didn't know that, smoke can pull so much power out of that line.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they're worried about right here now. It's starting to roll in here and worried about it stuck. It's really where we're sitting. You'll feel it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I won't feel it be long gone.
You'll feel the
Yeah.
electricity?
Yeah, he said you'll start feeling your you can feel it tingle.
I don't think I'd hang around.
Oh, that's take the heck with the rest of the commissioner meeting and go off the other side. I'll stick it out. They said that the gusts are gonna now, they just said on the radio up to 40 to 45 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's what I saw on the news.
don't have no planes flying that stuff, no, because a few hours, we've been up all night, they've used all the hours and stuff, now they're, and now kind of like the fire's gaining another big run at us.
Oh, yeah, 40-mile-an-hour winds. Very. So where's it heading for? Is it heading for one of those towns, Dayton or?
It's headed for it's kind of state west of Elmo, but now it's going around the backside. There's a little church town, like, but it's headed for there, and there's like 2 old antique churches, and there's all kinds of $1 million houses. That's where it's headed for.
Oh.
There's some big old fields there that the guys are ranching. They're out there right trying to get their bales off of their fields. Are brown, and you know it's very.
Yeah, 40-mile-an-hour wind's gonna go right across that.
Oh, half eight. I mean, yeah. Not good whole country. And then there's another fire in the Mission Mountains. You can see it from here. It's burning up that great big steep place right there outside of where you turn to go to Charlotte.
Oh.
It's going up that hill. And then I heard there was one in Lolo and one in Beaver
One where?
Tail down there by Bearmouth. And then Lolo has a small one that started.
So who's starting all this?
This one, they don't, it's under investigation, but they thought that there was somebody pulling a boat or a camper or something, dragging it. That's how hot and dry it is. It looks like a lot of these areas are green, but once it takes, it's gone. They figuring it was just dragging one of them security chains, safety chains.
Hmm. It's time.
Says, oh, it is. Okay, so it's 10:15. We have the dam tenders report. Georgetown Lake outflow, we were expecting who to be on and they're not on.
Is anybody on? Well, we're
They-
5.52 inches low. We dropped, what was it last time? 3 something?
3, 4, yeah,
3,
them are
4.
2 inches.
Yeah, so 2.5 inches. I don't know. I just don't see increasing the fall.
Betty Muniz was gonna try to call in, and Dave Hoffman, which is a ditch writer, and Brad and Rex Radke, Scott McGregor, these guys, I told them guys to make sure and call in so we have it on the, you know.
Mhm.
Well, they can't really call in with you on the line.
I can hang up.
What do you
I
think?
think it beeps on you, doesn't it? If someone else is calling in.
I don't know on that phone because it's a conference line.
Well, why don't I just hang up for a little bit here, and then just in case somebody's trying to call, and then I'll get back on in 5 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
Guys, great.
Thanks.
Scott, I agree with Chuck, unless you have fishing game that consents, yeah, it's not gonna.
And they're not gonna get it.
No, I was gonna see if we could do a little bit for a week and just see, and then go right back, or maybe go lower than 30 in a week, you know, like say jump it up 15 more, go to 45 for a week, just to keep the, you know, try to help the ranchers, and then jump back in a week to even 25 or, you know, 23 right there, and then gamble on it, because they're gonna kill them. But that's my opinion. I'll hang up for a little bit here, and then I'll call you back. If you don't hear back, but that's what I was gonna make a motion to see if we could go up a little bit, but if it gets knocked down, it does.
Well, what we could do is, get a hold, and not for this week, but for next week, get a hold of Fish and Game and make sure they're on and see what their opinion is.
Well, that's the whole thing. I agree totally. Is that, yeah, but then I put this out another week just because we're waiting on them because they can't get on the damn meeting.
Wait, want to try calling Brad Lerman?
I'll hang up and then in case any of them are calling.
Yep, number,
Okay, call back. Like in
Okay,
10 minutes.
sorry.
okay.
Brad Lerman's number is 406-241-9989.
9989.
89.
And what was his name?
Brad Lerman, fisheries biologist with Fish Wildlife Park.
You reached Brad, feel free to leave a message and I'll give you a call back. Thanks.
At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hi Brad, this is Granite County Commissioner's Office and we are on our agenda time for the dam tenders report, and we have Scott Adler, who is thinking maybe we can give a little bit more water to the ranchers, and we would like your opinion on that. If you can give us a call back at 406-859, what's our number?
7022.
7022. That's 406-859-7022. Thanks. Usually Betty would get on Zoom. I don't see her on Zoom.
Yeah.
So in order to do that, you'd have to get permission.
Temporary modification agreement with all three agencies: Forest Service, Fish Wildlife Parks, Fish and Wildlife Service.
Make it happen. I don't.
The way it's dropping. Usually what it says is, yeah, we'll look at it in August, later in August and see if there's any to give. But they'd ask for it to be, like Scott says, to give extra, then they'd want it reduced for the same period of time.
Yeah.
Looking at the gauge, USGS gauge, Plum Creek and Southern Cross, it's right at 30. I got it. And it's right on the line.
You're not sitting where I told you
Oh,
to sit.
well.
No, I'm kidding. I
You can hear me today?
I can hear you.
Yeah, all right.
Well, it was just when Scott would turn
Yeah,
to talk
it
to you.
Hard to hear, Scott. This day in 1943, JFK saved his shipmates.
Oh,
See that on
1943
Yeah.
on this day,
long time ago.
became a hero. No, that doesn't work. Trying to figure this out where I could call Scott back. It says callers.
Hmm.
More.
we put it on his cell phone. So it's 2403. The same as the sheriff's office, 35.
2240.
350.
Yeah, it's right here. Why can't I say dial? There. Dial. Oops, got to push the button.
Your call has been forwarded to an automated voice messaging system. 40624035441 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up.
Okay, well, I'm gonna make a motion then. My motion can be to stay with CFS for now and to get a hold of the electric bar for next week. So they can pick it up, make sure that they're online.
So did you get that, Billy? Okay. So the motion was made to stay where we're at and to get a hold of the
That might
three.
be strong.
Okay. Hey, Scott,
Yep, anybody call in?
no, and, go ahead.
No, they told me they were gonna make sure and call in. Yeah,
Okay, so I made the motion to stay at 30 CFS for a week and get a hold of FWP and make sure they're at the meeting next week and see if we could go up. But nothing.
Are we gonna try to get them to let us put more out for next week if we can? Is
I
that,
want to get their opinion. I don't want,
Okay.
I want to see what it does this week too. I mean, we
Okay.
could be.
okay,
down. There you go.
do you second that?
no, I don't, no. I think Chuck's on the right track, but it just makes me mad that we gotta wait another damn week for Fish and Game when they know we're in a bind again and they will not step up to the plate. I'm just fed up with them.
Well, we signed a letter. We signed-
Yeah, I mean, they know this, Brad knows this shit. We shouldn't even have to send a letter. We should be able, this should just give us the opportunity, if we want to let some water go, let the water go. I'm tired of sitting there waiting on them because they do this anyway, I'll relax, sorry.
I'm going to second Chuck's motion? Is there any public comment?
Okay. I think you got mine.
Okay,
No, we just can't release the one.
okay.
I don't-
All in favor
I-
and opposed? I'm in favor.
Aye.
Okay,
I oppose. I
Okay.
oppose.
okay. Motion carried. So next on the agenda is Matt Pierce from Matt's Mapping.
Hey, I'll probably, it's getting closer here. It's starting to wind change, so I'll probably go down. On that other stuff, it's just the first reading, right?
Right,
Yeah,
Okay. So we're good on that. It's just got the, there's no, nothing on it or nothing, just a first reading.
well, Chuck has a comment on it, but I guess it's the
Oh.
first reading. I don't think it's gonna change the first reading, if I'm
I
correct.
could comment
Oh.
on it now, I just won't support any tax, period.
Okay, all right, so, all right, so yeah, Chuck has to leave. So
A little after 11.
little after 11,
Okay,
if you can get back. Do you have the agenda in front of you, or we don't have a quorum?
hey, what's
So-
that?
So at
For-
11:15, can you get back at 11:15? Cause I
I
think,
will definitely,
okay, great,
that's on the resolution.
right, yes,
Yeah, so. Well, we
Okay.
have to move on. It's just the
Okay.
first reading this, we just say, well, it's the first resolution, then we move on. Then next week is when the person can, then we do the I and all that crap. But this one's just, all you gotta do is say, this is the first reading on this, blah, blah, and then we move on.
okay, all right, Scott, call back at 11:15.
Yep, if I don't, but that's all the person has to do on that
Okay,
one. I
so-
never stopped it, here, it's turning.
I just want an opinion from Blaine. Blaine, if he's gone,
Need Scott for, yeah.
we need
Chris
you,
Allen for
we
the
need
next
you,
one.
Scott.
Well, you got my proxy on it, we just move on, we're not voting on nothing, it's a first reading.
Okay,
Yeah, you're right, I mean, it's just.
Huh?
It's a nothing, it's just to look at it and.
Do
okay,
you have to leave
Yep.
before 11:15?
okay, so we're good. We don't have to worry about the
Yeah,
first reading.
exactly,
Okay, all
that's
right,
what I-
thanks,
That's
Scott.
what I keep saying.
Okay,
All right, I'm getting the hell off of here, sorry,
okay,
thank you,
Uh-huh.
good job, you guys,
bye.
bye.
Okay, meanwhile, back at Matt Pierce with Matt's Mapping.
Mapping and planning specialist, it's not Matt's
So
mapping.
you're the man.
Yes, how are you, sir? Good to put a face to a name. How are you? Yeah, so I just wanted to stop in and meet Chuck and kind of give you guys an update, and I mean, it's been a while since I've been.
Meet Chuck.
I don't
Yeah,
think,
I always missed him. you know,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, every time.
Chuck, Matt, Chuck. Sheriff, do you know the sheriff?
Obviously, you guys know what's going on with the development and the growth in the county, and I've been trying to stay on top of it. We're assigning new addresses every day practically. In years past, we used to do maybe 3 to 4 a month. And some days we're doing 3 to 4 a day, and I'm CCing everybody that is involved, and so I wanted. I guess just to reiterate that I'm trying to be as informative as I can to keep everybody up to date. Tomorrow or today or tomorrow, I'm gonna go over and work on dispatch a little bit with the new software that Central Square put in. I can't do local updates anymore. I have to push the data to them and then they deploy it. And so we've got updated aerial imagery from 2021 that is going to be part of this update. And so I have to load that locally to the machines and then they push the data. So anyway, long story short, I'm working on getting a data update. I was here in June. I did a bunch of field work. I was actually on vacation with my family, but my daughter decided to stay with the second week. And so we ran around together and she actually got to see me do some work, which is cool. She's 12. And she had a lot of fun, got to meet a lot of dogs, which was perfect. She had to have one of those shirts that I'm just here to pet the dogs. So yeah, big new subdivision type stuff going on. The Sanson family on the south end of town, they bought the Munis Ranch and bought a bunch of stuff up the Upper Rock Creek. They're putting in roads and building lodges and cabins, and I've been trying to stay on top of the work with those and also coordinate with Linda to make sure that she's aware of all of it. And
About the Venus, right? Which one's that?
Sanson.
The
So-
Mungus.
Or Mungus, I'm sorry, I said. the wrong-
Yeah, I was thinking Mungus, but I.
Mungus.
Cool.
And then they also bought property from Bornson's on the Upper Rock Creek Road, and that's where the new lodge is going. The two sons are putting in houses up near the new Scalco Fire Hall. There's a new private lane put in behind there. So two houses going in there, and then up and down the Scalco, there's probably 3 or 4 other places that are doing that's related to them.
So you took a step backwards in technology, is that what you're saying, for the updating?
Well, if
We like to think it was forward. bias.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, sorry.
it's just a different animal. Instead of me being able to do stuff here locally, I push it to them and then they deploy it. It's all server based stuff. So it's a little more touchy, I guess. You gotta make sure that all the
Okay, so when was our last atlas done?
last atlas, I think they've done in 2017, so it's due certainly. And I know that you guys are out as far as having them. So one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you guys today is that the last atlas, not even in 2017, but back 2013, 14, 15, of course, I used to work with Powell County.
Mhm.
I used to work with Anaconda Deer Lodge County. We had a one township wide map buffer that went all the way around the county that included like the east half of Georgetown Lake in Anaconda Deer Lodge County, all the way down to like Warm Springs Creek. That was included in that atlas because this realistically, that's the footprint of the Georgetown Lake County Fire. That whole area is the 563 telephone exchange. So if someone picks up a landline phone in that area and calls 911, the call actually goes to Deer Lodge County first. If they identify that it's in Granite County, then they transfer the call back to the Granite County Sheriff's Office. Conversely, on the Gold Creek side, that's all in the 288 telephone exchange. So the whole Gold Creek drainage, if someone picks up a landline phone, calls 911, the way that the telephone exchanges are routed, they're non-selectively routed, which means that the entire exchange goes one way or the other. So that's why 563 goes to Deer Lodge and why 288 comes all to here. So in the gold,
Wasn't the next generation 911 supposed to address those kind of issues?
that will, yes,
Yeah.
the next generation 911 side of it,
Whenever that's gonna happen.
whenever that happens, which hopefully will be within the next 3 to 5 years, then it will be call routing based on geographic location. So once that system is in place, if a phone call originates within Granite County, it will come to the Granite County Sheriff's Department. If it originates in Missoula County or Powell County or Deer Lodge County, it will go to the respective 911 centers. But for right now, it's not.
Yeah,
So
we had a bad crash up Silver Lake. By Spring Hill last week before last, and we were getting all the 911 calls, or a lot of them anyway.
because of the cell phone traffic. Right. So the towers that sit atop Rumsey Mountain have sectors, faces of the antennas. And it depends on the volume of calls, and if a particular sector that's pointing towards Anaconda is full, let's say, because of something like that happening, then it will default to the other sectors which are pointed this direction. So
Back to the mapping though.
Yeah.
Drummond ambulance anyway, years ago, signed an MOU with Powell County to do coverage all the way out to Gold Creek and Helmville. So when we get calls up in that area, Powell County likes for us to respond. So we need the mapping is what I'm saying.
Sure.
In all the way out to Gold Creek.
So
and
my
Helmville.
point was trying to meet with you guys is that you get 911 surcharge funds from all of the telephone subscribers in the 288 area. Those funds come to Granite County. The funds that are on the 563 side of things, they go to Deer Lodge County. So,
They're getting the half of the lake up here
yeah,
in the Granite County.
yes. Because of the way that the 911 system was set up years and years ago, the tax money that gets accrued at the state level and then goes back to the counties. So I guess my point is that there's a lot of growth and development, more so on the Georgetown Lake side of things, but even in the Gold Creek area, there's quite a bit. I've been keeping track of both. So we get notifications from the construction monitor of building permit, basically electrical services. So
Rattler
state,
Gulch as well, correct?
what's that?
Rattler Gulch.
Yeah,
It's
that's all Granite County. You're,
Yeah, but it's still kind of boomerang. There's still some,
oh, certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of those folks are off grid though.
yeah.
So
that's
there's no state electrical permitting up there. Um, Long story short, I've been putting what I call need to verify points into the Deer Lodge County side of things, into the Powell County side of things, saying there's a new house here, there's a new house here, there's a new road here. Mapping, I am mapping Granite County, and I feel like I'm justified to go up into the Gold Creek area to map whatever needs to be mapped up in there, because you guys are getting the 911 surcharge
Yeah.
funds for that, and I can absolutely include that. If I go into Deer Lodge County on the east side of Georgetown Lake, I'm not really justified to be there. And, you know, I'm entering a lot of private property.
Yeah.
To go map structures, and I feel like I struggle with, should I even be there? Should I do that? And more importantly, who pays for it?
Right.
Because when I worked for Anaconda Deer Lodge County, it wasn't an issue. When I worked for Powell County, it wasn't an issue at all.
Right.
And I mapped all of those things, I included them, they were in the 2017 Atlas, but now I'm gonna go do a complete update. There's an awful lot of stuff on the east side of Georgetown Lake that is not mapped. And I don't think that they are doing the same level of GPS mapping that we are
they are
doing.
not.
I spoke with a deputy
They
who
are-
happened to be on Lakeshore Drive. Well, not a deputy, a police officer. I didn't catch his name, but he was the
They
Anaconda
are
Police.
not. Check, man.
And they looped around, and I waved him down. I said, hey, how you doing? And I asked, do you know, are they doing any mapping? And he said, not to my knowledge. He said they stopped doing it after Wet Water and Environmental Technologies was involved.
Okay, question, then. Your responsibility right now is Granite County because we no longer have Anaconda Deer Lodge or Powell. So you map Granite County.
Period.
But we still have the old mapping for Anaconda and Deer Lodge.
I do, and I can certainly include
The old
that
stuff.
stuff that, but it's dated. I mean,
And
last
we
time
need
we
it
got,
included, Matt. We get a lot of 911 calls at the lake, whether there's some controversy, whether it's in Granite or Anaconda Deer Lodge.
Okay,
And we do get
so
a
what I-
significant number.
What I would like to finish, if I may.
Sorry, Blanche.
Is, yeah, we've got the old and we can keep it because you had it, and so we're able to access the old, right?
well, I
Or
don't
not.
own it. And that's another rub, is that data is time stamped, I guess, as of when I left that county. I kept it because it was in part of your 911 data set that was included in the dispatch center. But, you know, technically, it was bought and paid for by Anaconda Deer Lodge County. So if I was to include it, I would certainly want to
Get their
reach
permission.
out to them to get their permission to reprint it. So kind of full circle, you know, we've got road center lines and we've got structure points. Road center lines, I could drive all of that area and map all of the roads that are not locked off. You know, if it's a public road, I can certainly drive it and include it, and all of that data is already existing for the most part. There's a few subdivisions that are not in there. But me entering private property to go map individual structures and take digital photographs and include all of that data, you know,
Right,
I'm struggling with it. So
No, yeah.
what I would like to do is, with your permission, is reach out to Bill Everett to say, hey, here's the issue, here's the rub. What are you, you know, agreeable to A, let us use your data to print in the map books, B, you know, drive the roads and map in your county, C, you know, what about the individual structures? If I did all of that mapping like we used to do for them,
Yeah.
I could certainly exchange that information back to them and give it to them so that they could plug it back into their side of things. I don't know that they're interested in doing that. And
so
I don't. know.
they would have to pay for it,
Well,
right?
I would think
Yeah,
so.
because it's their 911 funds. If they're not interested, if we can still use the data
Yeah.
that we have,
We already are.
Well, you already.
the old data,
We already
Yeah.
are using it.
okay, so, I mean, they don't seem to mind, right? So,
They did get, as you're aware, the fire chief sent a letter saying they don't want to respond to ambulance calls in Granite County anymore. That includes the ski hill.
well,
So,
we're working on that.
okay,
So
What do you
wait,
think?
Anaconda Deer Lodge ambulance is not wanting to respond into Grant
that's
County?
my understanding of that letter, yes.
Wow.
Well, that's, that, you're reading a little more into that, maybe,
That's what the
I
letter
think they
said.
wanted an agreement, didn't they?
Huh?
They wanted.
they want an agreement.
Has he sent you?
So we have, we're going to discuss that on a future agenda.
Okay.
Okay. What say you, Chuck? Let's say me. I feel that, yes, we need a new atlas. I also think that, yes, reach out. Because you don't have to reach out to Powell County, right? Just, or
I
reach
would
out
as-
to
I
them.
would as due diligence, and I actually have a working relationship with Ann O'Toole, who's the GIS person over there. You know, you talked about Rattler Gulch. Once you go up Rattler Gulch and you drop over the backside, there's a Wild Horse Parks area up there. And I have been driving in there once every couple of years to update whatever I find. And then I share it back with Ann, and you know, same thing with Gold Creek. If I go in there and I map new structures, new roads, or delete stuff, quite a few of the, I believe their Mennonites have migrated back out of that area. And so there's been quite a turnover there, I believe. And so, you know,
Okay,
she and I have a working
Okay,
relationship,
so-
but I do not have a relationship with
Okay,
anybody. in
so-
Dodge County.
you
On a
want
picture.
our permission to reach out to them? And that any updating would be a charge to them with their 911 funds, correct?
Yeah, so what I'd like to do is draft a letter, put it back in front of you to review and see what your 2 cents are, and maybe you want to add or expand or whatever, and then see where it goes. And at a minimum, I can reprint the atlases with what we have likely, as long as they don't, you know, throw up a red flag and say absolutely not. Again, I don't own that data. I don't even own your data, you own.
Right,
So, you know, I'm basically your representative, and, you know, I want to make sure that I'm not stepping on
totally.
proverbial toes and.
So
So you need a motion,
need a motion,
so
So-
move to approve the atlas, how much
Or
is
just-
this atlas?
Or just move forward to have you give a proposal on it, is that?
Yeah.
well, what we're doing is. I think we're going to accept the fact that we need an atlas, and we're gonna have the atlas, and there's 911 funds to cover the atlas.
So I'd
There
say-
is, but quick question. The atlases are already updated on our MDTs, our mapping systems are
Yes.
already updated because he updates them all the time.
Yeah.
You're talking about hard copies for the fire.
Hard copy books, 8.5 by 11 bound books, 1 township per page, insects for dense areas. Yeah, and in that printed atlas book, which of course I don't have one with me.
And also, they pay for it, the public pays for it, we don't give it to them free, so some of the cost comes back.
Yeah, so when they get printed, usually the printing costs are covered by whatever Sarah in the clerk and recorder's office is charging. I don't. See,
It's 20.
20, okay, $20 a book, and
One thing to consider is when dispatch sends a page, not all the addresses work though. If they put the address in the page on the smartphone, in that text message, you can just click on the address and then it gives you a map. But it does not work without fail on all of those addresses. And I'm not sure if you're sharing that data with like Google and all, I doubt it.
no,
But that's something to consider, that a lot of these addresses, if dispatch enters, you know, Drummond, Montana, 59832, number 8 Fox Hill Road, you click on that and the map just comes up on the phone. So the atlases, I can't speak for the fire chiefs and the ambulance personnel. Well, no, I can't speak for them. I don't know if they're using them or not, to be honest with you. I think a lot of them are using that. They'll click on the phone.
But could you mark, or do like known county roads in different color?
Use those as well. You said there
usually
was
they're
other
black
folks
and white,
using
just
Yeah,
as well
they
as
get the
printing
maps,
costs.
but they don't
If
know
printed
that they
in
can
color,
get
then you triple
on
them.
the phone.
You have
because-
to get a page.
Oh,
You have to get an emergency.
Which, you know, if you are printing 100 to 200 at a time,
okay, so let's speak up a little bit. You're trying to say that
I was
again.
asking if you could, do known county roads in different color. That would be helpful, but he said that would increase triples the cost.
print costs, you know, printing in color versus black and white. And we do a lot of symbolizing in the black and white atlases so that gravel versus dirt versus paved versus whatever, they do show up and they are distinct.
Okay, so your comment is you really think that the atlases are not,
I think my honest opinion of all that is they get thrown in a fire truck and never get looked at. Half the firemen didn't even know if they existed. I'm just saying from my observations.
but we've
So-
always printed one is what I'm saying.
You're
And
right.
From
Yeah.
my experience, the atlases. I worked for 6 different counties in Montana, 1 in South Dakota, and these atlas books are often considered a hard copy backup, if nothing else. Because when the rubber meets the road and your MDT stops working, your GPS stops working, your phone, you're out of service. Where in the hell is this private lane? I've never heard of this before. I don't know where it is. You can flip open the
And-
book, find it.
I want to make a comment as a layperson, as being in the clerk and recorder's office, we use your atlas all the time.
I do too.
I mean, all the time.
Yeah.
And it's even helpful, anybody would want to come in and get street addresses to get the atlas. And to update it is
So the one-
essential.
Blanche, I'm just speaking to emergency
Yeah.
response. so
No,
that's
right.
it.
No, I'm just giving you my opinion
Sure.
too.
Yeah.
Well, I hear you. I don't know how you guys use them.
Yeah.
So,
One, I guess, good benefit of having a geographic information system is that we can produce something like this. And, you know, 20 years ago, I would have never imagined how many people actually refer to all of that stuff, but I have very good working relationships with all of the post offices. Every postmaster is screaming for this.
Why aren't they helping fund it then?
What's that?
Why aren't they helping fund it?
Okay, so
Just saying.
Real estate agents, you know, go ahead, Blanche.
the motion has been made to update the atlas and to reach out to our 2 neighboring counties to update or use at their expense. And made by Chuck, and I'll second it. Is there any public comment? So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed.
Very good. Do you guys have any questions of me? I mean, you're seeing the new addresses as I assign them basically, and a lot of mining claim stuff, a lot of off-grid stuff. I feel like I should send you guys a bill for maintenance on my truck because I
No.
to go way out in the backcountry. Last year I ripped off running boards on one whole side just because, you know, I mean, these people are
I didn't say it.
In winter,
Yeah.
yes.
So Scott,
A lot
you're
of off-grid stuff.
perfectly content with this fella to keep continuing.
I am, Matt started here, started the process here.
Yep.
And without him, I know I've already
Yep.
checked into Anaconda Deer Lodge. They aren't doing current updates on mapping. And right before I walked over here, we had a call of 911 call at the lake and the address pops up and it gives us all the demographics of that address. It's expensive, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
It is expensive, but yeah, we're happy with Matt's services, yeah.
Well, certain counties have used their funds unwisely and they're
Right.
now paying the price. Granite counties,
They're
they're
paying
paying
the
them wisely.
And I will make the comment that wildland fire season, knock on wood, that we don't have a bad one this year, but in past years, like the Brewster Creek fires and the stuff that was up north on the north end of above Drummond. You know, those fire crews, when I give them a data set, they don't really even know what to do with it because it's 5 times more information than what they normally get. And they're like, holy, this is.
Yeah, we're
amazing.
getting, on those fire camps, we're getting requests for his information on how many residences are there, that kind of stuff. And when we do evacuations, which we did a lot of in 2017, we use all that data to make sure we made contact with everybody. Obviously, if we see something that's not on the map, we're gonna check it, but we use it a lot.
And it's proved to
We
be
do.
valuable.
Yeah.
I know I used to work with one of the people that was on the fire crew. On the Brewster Creek fire and I send them all the data, but then I'm not on the know as to what's happening. I asked 6 months later, she's like, oh, she said, we took the latitude longitudes, and we were doing precision drops on those cabins. The fire burned within 100 feet of most of them and we didn't lose a single one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah. It's gratifying to know. that-
We have 2 comments here.
Go ahead.
Jim Buckeye, local resident. I just wanted to put in an affirmation for this gentleman. I've had 3 dealings with Mr. Pierce over the years, starting back in 2012. And I've never talked to anyone that's more courteous and willing to help, meticulous note taking and a phenomenal memory, even no stumble among us, but he's a very, very dedicated employee. You are lucky to have him. Thanks.
I think he has the key to our county. The honorary key.
One correction though, not an employee contract.
Gail,
Employed by the county, correct?
No,
Employed
no, not an employee, contractor, independent contractor.
Contracted by.
Yeah.
okay, Gail has a,
Gail Leeper, just met Matt, but I'm happy to work with, and we have some issues down in Drummond in the town with that, so he said that he would obviously give us a buzz, and may I ask, the expense of it? How much, do you know approximately?
I can't give you an annual.
So let me just back up. What Gail and I talked about previous to this meeting was getting her a set of the GIS data that they can use for town, because of course we have all the streets mapped, we have all the houses mapped, all the addresses. And I mentioned that there's an existing memorandum of understanding between yourself and the town of Phillipsburg. Town of Phillipsburg has all of that data. They're currently using that data right now as reference information to go out and map all of the water, sewer, and storm infrastructure. I mentioned that to Gail. Gail said, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in town. I don't even know what the addresses are. And so I mentioned that I could take the existing Phillipsburg MOU, replace some names, put it back in front of both parties, get some signatures, and then I can install the ARC Reader software and install the data, and she would have access to all of that. And basically, Gail, that would be an hourly fee. Since I'm here 3 to 4 times a year annually, I would just dovetail it with one of my existing trips, and we would just get it done. So probably in a couple of hours, maybe 2 to 3 hours.
Sure, and I didn't mean, I would probably have you come to a council meeting.
Sure.
to talk.
so that would be something that we'd have to put on the agenda to allow them to use our software because I know First American Title, they also used it and.
We had
had
talked about it,
permission.
we never actually installed it because the First American Title Company didn't want a third party
Oh.
working on their computer systems. Now I can tell you that like over in Mineral County, First American Title there, we do have it installed locally on their machines. They use it daily. And they got all new computers like 3 weeks ago, and they're dying for me to get back on site to get it reinstalled. Because they use it all the time to verify physical addresses for property sales.
Approximately how long would it take you to get that memorandum and for it to be on the agenda? Would we want it on the agenda for next week, do you think, or further down the road?
I would say further down the road, because
Okay.
our meeting is until the third Tuesday,
Okay.
and I want to bring it
Okay,
to them
okay,
first is all. But
So sooner rather than later, I'll get it to you and then to you.
Okay,
And then you
perfect.
guys can mull it over. And
okay, all right.
thank you.
So we're at 11 a.m. And we have the county motor vehicle graveyard grant
Thank you.
for
Yeah.
Grant County. And this grant is a yearly grant. It is, we get money from the DEQ. And this is just for submitting the fiscal year 2023 grant package with the itemized accounting from FY22. So I think all we have to do is acknowledge that according to motor vehicle graveyard sheets, we will sign the vendor invoice and return it, accepting the budget for FY23. Your motion,
Take your motion.
make the motion, that motion.
Hmm.
I
Make
make
your
a
motion.
motion that we accept the fiscal year budget 2023 grant package from the DEQ.
I'll second it.
Okay, any public comment? All in favor? Aye, motion carried. Now we have. You want to bring this forward a few minutes because you have to take off? Can we do
Right. I'd
that,
like to-
Blaine?
I'd like to leave as soon as I can, so if we could bring up.
Can we
the
bring,
agenda.
there is. Being it's the first reading, like Scott said. It's just the first reading. It's on the agenda for 11:15. Chuck has to take off. So we're gonna bump this up a little bit. Chuck has a comment that he would like to make, which makes no difference on this resolution as it's the first reading.
Makes absolutely no difference. I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna support any tax on anything. I was informed during the last legislature, when they're talking about all this, about how the taxes were forcing the black markets in other states. Other states warned our legislature about that. Got a lot of high taxes anyway. And then anybody that thinks that a black market is gonna stop with marijuana products is dreaming, in my opinion. There even talked in the last meeting we had about fentanyl laced marijuana that could be in the black market. It's horrible. So I'm just not gonna support any tax or anything medicinal, whatever.
So would we
Pretty
call,
much it.
oh, sorry, go ahead.
That's pretty much it.
That's okay.
Yeah. Public comment.
What's that?
Doug, is there any public comment? On this? We up to the resolution for reading for 2022-8 because Chuck has to take off. And we did it and it was okay with the county attorney, so I'd really not want any comment on that.
I would just say, leave it, leave it.
We're gonna be
public comment
open.
Open through that time.
Yeah, we'll stay open, but we just, because he has to take off he wanted to make a comment on it.
Point of order. Or point of reference. Point
Do you
of-
have a comment?
Yeah, point of order.
Do you want to,
The meeting's supposed to start at 11:15, and there's a bunch of people out there waiting for that meeting to start. This is 11 o'clock and it's supposed to be the graveyard grant. And I don't think, that is point of order, that you can do that. Rush the meeting when people are waiting to be at this meeting.
okay, he has to take off. There is no decision being made on this. It's just the first reading.
That was
So
just
then
my
are you
opinion.
gonna put this
And he
back
wanted
on?
to give his opinion. We're here, we're gonna visit with it, but it's open right now. And we'll carry on through 11:30 with this first reading. If anybody else has discussion, Chuck has to leave. They can bring their discussion. It'll go on Zoom and everyone will hear it. Does that sound okay?
Well, point of order, you're gonna be down to commissioners, so I think that you should just table it. I don't know.
No, we will not
This is-
table
Can't
it.
table it, 'cause it's the first reading, it's just,
This is
just,
It's
not
the
the
first
way a
reading.
Meeting should be held, and that's for the record. Thank you. It's a public meeting,
Yes.
and you're violating codes and the Constitution.
Can you please explain what the first reading means?
The
There-
first, there
So
is,
there's one, how many are there and what's the process? That might help.
a resolution has to have two readings. And so this resolution, we've gone over the resolution, the wording and the resolution should have been on the website for you to look at. And the first reading is, I guess, comments. Is that correct, Plain?
Yeah, I mean, you can actually read it word by
Okay.
word if you'd like, or you can
Okay.
waive that.
Okay.
But yeah, you're taking public comment.
So is
now.
this something that I can do with him not being present because there's no quorum or what?
I would take the public comment right now while he's here. if you would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want me to quickly read the resolution?
no, I read it.
Okay. Does everybody have a copy of the resolution?
I can make additional copies. if you want to give them to me.
And the resolution's on the website?
Are there people out in the foyer? Are there people out there waiting to come at 11:15? Okay.
Take a copy of the resolution.
Yeah. Yeah. Here you go. You're gonna come on then, okay?
So Blaine, can I say now that I'll vote for that, emergency agreement for Riddick Field?
Well,
Or just
the
give blast my proxy or whatever?
it
Oh, he's going up the next time.
is is Scott calling in on that? And now,
If you could.
So we've done the grave.
maybe call him right now and see if you can get him on. I think that'd be
Okay,
the
let me
best
see if I
way.
can, just a second, let me see if I can do this again.
All right.
Callers. Dial. Oh, that was easy.
Maybe send him a text, cause he never answers it.
Oh, right.
Your call has been forwarded to
So. What is this emergency facilities land use agreement?
Like it's-
Letting them use it for the fire?
it's a fire.
I just never researched it where you have, and I know you can give proxies, but that, and then only have one commissioner here.
Yeah.
Never researched that, so. You can give proxies as
How about
long
if I-
as two commissioners are
How
accepted.
about if I call
Hmm?
him? I'll call him,
You'll what? Call in
Yeah.
11:30.
11:50.
No, 50. Yeah,
Okay. Want to do that?
Can you wait to hear the public comment on the resolution? Okay, thanks.
if it's right now.
Yeah,
So.
Did I
public
announce it?
comment?
yeah. If you
Can we
it,
announce it
yeah.
again? Okay, so we are in resolution 2022-8. A Granite County resolution approving 2 ballot issues for the general election on November 8th, 2022. In regards to local option excise taxes for all non-medical marijuana and medical marijuana sales in Granite County. And this is the first reading. Do I have to read the first reading?
You could waive it or you could read it.
Okay, we're good. We have the resolution. It is, the public has access to it. And it is on the website. And so we're going to waive the reading of resolution 2022-8 first reading. Is there any public comment?
Yes.
I just have a statement and question about the terminology used on the proposed language. So on ballot initiative number 1, as it's written, should it actually be on the ballot in November, assuming we get enough signatures? We're using 2 different terminologies. One is recreational, one is non-medical. And the question is, should we be consistent with the language?
Well,
That says recreational.
well, I think they're looking at the excise tax. It talks about in the statute, non-medical and medical. And so there's a distinction there between those ballot issues and the one on the recreational dispensaries is a separate subject. So I think this resolution is consistent with the statutory language.
And on the ballot language is if non-medical makes it to the ballot, should there be a tax? And the
Right.
other one is,
Right. See.
and now I can't read it. You'll have to read it. And the other one is because there is medical marijuana, but there's still no dispensaries. So on the medical marijuana, if the signatures aren't gathered on the second reading, then we'll go there and see what happens.
This just points out my statement before that this is confusing. And this, if this is on the ballot, it's going to be confusing, and that's the whole reason.
Okay, so if it's confusing to you,
It's confusing you. but-
it's not confusing to me, and it's not confusing is how I feel about it. I think, like I made my comment last week, but this has nothing to do with it. It's a two-way street and everyone should get their day in court, so to speak.
Yeah, I think the language here is consistent with the statute. I mean,
I'm sorry, I didn't say my name earlier. It's Justine Richmond for the record. So the language on ballot number 1 does say, shall licensed adult use recreational marijuana dispensaries be allowed in Granite County, Montana. I understand that non-medical versus medical is in the statute. Now that makes sense to me why that language was used. Is there a way to refer to ballot issue number 1? So in that second ballot initiative, should ballot issue number 1 pass or whatever language, then, you know, just adding that piece right there, relating the two, maybe might make it a little bit more clear. I'm not sure if that makes if that helps with any confusion, Mr. Hinkle.
So it says, if ballot issue passes, should there be a tax? It's yes or no?
Correct.
Yes.
And she's saying, can you refer to the actual ballot number? No, ballot issue number 1.
Yes.
In the language on the.
Well, I think that would be confusing because it's the only ballot issue. Would it confuse it with the hospital district?
Well, there's gonna be, yeah, there potentially could be 4 ballot issues. The,
Are you asking if it's gonna be, they'll maybe vote for the? No, that's.
No, I'm just trying to help with any confusion, since that's what's been brought up by Mr. Hinkle.
It might help. Look at the average person out there, they're gonna look at that.
the recreational would be ballot issue number 1, so that language could be added in here. No, and with that said, we haven't added the ballot issue language yet anyway, because they haven't gotten the signatures.
So it has
That'll
to,
be
right.
added next week too.
Okay, so this is our resolution and we want to get it on the ballot in time. So if your signatures, if you don't get enough signatures, then
Well, you're just gonna table the resolution
the
anyway.
resolution will not even
Make it.
make it,
Right.
because I don't see doing the medical marijuana if there's not gonna be a dispensary to
No, I don't
sell
want
it.
tax medical. It isn't me.
So there you
Well,
go.
the language here on it says if non-medical, specifically adult use recreational marijuana dispensaries are allowed in Granite County, but other people should Granite County impose a 3% local option. I don't know how, given the ballot issue, the number on that clarifies that any. But. So
Yeah, I don't either. I can't see it where it clarifies it. He just making waves, don't listen to him.
Well, I appreciate the
It's, okay, go ahead.
comment. Yeah, I appreciate that several people last week said it could be confusing. So what I'm proposing is or asking what can be done to make it less confusing to have all 3 of them on there, because I guess I'm not understanding how it is confusing until I know how it is confusing. I can't help
okay.
necessarily with.
The
a
only way
suggestion.
that this can be voted for is if it passes. So if it doesn't pass, then it's moot, it's nothing, it's gone. So even if you do get the signatures and it doesn't pass, there's not gonna be an excise tax, correct? Because there's no dispensaries.
she's just talking about how if we can clarify this language even more, so it's make sure there's no confusion. And
So,
I don't know if we can, in just a little paragraph or. For people that aren't in these discussions. I think don't worry. I had to go.
So just adding some language is not gonna change
think
the
so.
resolution to where it would be.
I don't. Guess I don't see it.
So we can't change this like next week,
Yeah, it could be some small minor,
small minor changes.
yeah.
A minor change to,
And it also has language in here that says, yeah, if they don't get the signatures, then basically you're not gonna have that. You're not gonna have either one of these ballot issues on.
yeah,
So it's really contingent upon that.
we're about 50 signatures away, from hitting the 375 mark. And, of course, we're going on every day. But my question is, okay, so assuming we get the signatures, assuming number 1 and 2 are on the ballot issue number 1 and ballot issue number 2. Then ballot issue number 3 will be on there. And what if that passes? But ballot issue number 1 doesn't? Are you still gonna, does that make it moot at that point for medical sales? Does that make sense?
So if they vote down the medical, then it's voted down and we don't tax medical. Is that what you're asking?
I'm asking if they vote for the tax on medical, but ballot issue number 1 fails. Then are you still gonna tax medical?
Yes.
Because there will still be a dispensary,
Yeah, it depends
assuming
on how-
it remains
Yeah.
open.
Depending on how that ballot issue is voted on for medical marijuana, yeah,
Then
it's separate.
so they're not both moot. I just wanted to clarify that,
Right.
because it sounded like that's what we said earlier, but number 2 would be moot, but maybe number 3 would, depending on the result of number 3. Okay.
Okay, so your question is, if the signatures are there, then you have ballot issue number 1 for or against dispensaries. Then you have ballot issue number 2 saying, if, which it did pass, but we have to say if, because this is the timeline. Do you vote for an excise tax? If that fails, then there's no excise tax on recreational marijuana. But ballot issue number 3, they want a medical tax on medical marijuana.
Well, it's best just to wait till after the election.
Yeah, medical marijuana would be a separate.
So who would vote? They want it on medical, but not on recreational.
That's not the question. So the question is, if ballot issue number 1 fails, and by fails, I mean, it doesn't pass and there's no recreational sales allowed in Granite County still. Then ballot issue number 2 is moot, but ballot issue number 3 would still be valid because it's not dependent upon anything. So assuming that
Yeah.
passes, then I assume that would not be moot. And that the 3% tax on medical would still apply.
That's, yeah, that'd be my understanding.
Okay.
So how are you gonna tax if there's no dispensary? So you'll still dispense for
Yeah,
medical?
yeah, it's not, medical is still allowed in the medical dispensaries are allowed in the county.
Yes, then I guess whatever little bit of revenue comes in will be taxed.
Okay. Right. Thank you.
And yeah,
Okay. And then just one final comment, if there's any, if there's any commissioner or anybody, any citizen that has a recommendation, of course, to make the language less confusing, of course, would like to hear from some of those folks that said it would be confusing and didn't want to put it out there. In their minds, what is confusing? How could it be less confusing, other than it not being there altogether? So just
well, I guess
putting that out there.
that would be called getting out there in the public and trying to explain, like with the last petition that was on the primary.
Mhm.
People were still confused even when people got out there and explained. So once our resolution is done with and we get the ballot issues on, then it would be up to it's not up to the commission to go out and clarify the language.
There's a distinction in all this between potentially confusing to one person and unconstitutionally vague. If something unconstitutionally vague, then it would basically potentially void it. It would void it. So we're not going to be able to, I think, make any of these ballot languages that are going to be totally clear to 100% of the people. There's going to be, but you're right, and
Right.
that's for the people to get out and explain it.
And the reason that we had to say if is to get it in the time frame to get it to be on the ballot. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on the ballot. So whether I know with Chuck saying no, he didn't want it because it's confusing. But it carried that Scott and I want it. So there it is.
Yeah, I just wanted to make that comment, make that known, that Mr. Hinkle thought it was confusing. What would make it less confusing? We don't have a response to that, and just leave it at that.
Right,
Yep.
right.
Thank
And
you.
I don't think it's confusing. There you go. So
His opinion.
you can
Yeah.
say Commissioner McClure doesn't feel it's confusing if you wanted to use references.
The language as you're talking about,
yeah.
as is in the ballot.
Yeah,
ballot language.
I mean, I understand the ballot language.
Yeah, I just don't see how you can make this, follow the statute and make it any more clear.
Okay,
Yes,
Lady Gagliano, for the record, point of clarification, because now I am confused. Is the dispensary of recreational marijuana legal or not legal in Granite County? Question mark.
okay, so that is because of the vote in the primary.
Did you say medical marijuana
Recreational.
or recreational? Is allowed until it's legal until September 4th, 2022. And then it's the 90 days from the election. And so then it will be unless changed by vote of the
Yeah,
people.
so on the 4th, they cannot sell recreational.
All right, last day is the 4th, so
Going forward on the 5th. Yeah, correct.
So 5th,
5th, 4th is the last day, so.
okay, you can sell on September 4th, the 5th they can't,
And that's recreational.
and that's recreational.
Okay, so when this vote goes in November, it's illegal. So how can you be talking about a tax? Or even talking about recreational? If you're gonna talk about a tax. And the only dispensary of marijuana is medicinal, then the ballot should say 3% tax on medicinal. You're confusing the issue of talking about recreational since it's gonna be illegal as of the 5th, 2022. So now, if this group comes up with the required signatures to put the new ballot issue, which would be, I guess, only regarding recreational marijuana. That'll be up to them getting the signatures.
So if it passes, then if our ballot issues pass, then we can tax it immediately instead of having a special election or waiting 2 years down the road to put a ballot issue on the ballot to tax it. Now we can't tax any of it.
Marijuana, medicinal is legal. That's
Correct.
all you're talking about, right? Is putting a tax on medical marijuana.
No, it'd be, if recreational passes, then would, non-medical marijuana be taxed as well.
Okay, but right now, the point being, it's gonna be illegal. And this group wants to put it on the ballot. Because I'm sure if that goes on the ballot. Do you want recreational marijuana dispensed in Granite County? All those people that voted in the primary will not be confused by it. And they will say yes, period. But now, again, the issue is being sort of confusing, throwing in a 3% tax on medical. Medical is already legal. So that's a separate issue.
Exactly, and there's 2 separate ballot
That's it.
issues.
But the second ballot doesn't comply to anything because we're talking about something illegal.
You're going along with what Chuck was arguing, it's too confusing is basically what he was saying. So
Well, if you
you're,
wanted, I'm sorry, if you wanted to put at a second ballot saying, we're going to, since there was confusion, we're gonna leave it up to the people and let them vote, yes or no, do you want recreational marijuana sold in Granite County? That would be 2 ballots. But the way
That's
it
one
stands,
ballot
it's like,
issue.
yeah, well, if it doesn't rain in 2 months, well, what are we worried about the dam for?
Is that
You
your
know,
comment?
if something doesn't
Is that your
happen,
comment?
it's,
Okay,
I'm just saying,
Okay.
this is my comment, so
Okay.
it's
well,
confusing.
you gave public comment last week encouraging this.
yeah, you did. You did.
Well, my public comment be, because I don't think it's gonna be up to you if they get the signatures. Then it's gonna be on a ballot regarding recreational marijuana. They don't have to ask your permission, am I correct? Once we get the petition, the signatures are verified, then that's gonna be on the ballot.
Recreational
Where'd that come
dispensaries.
from? That doesn't even make
Yeah.
any sense.
If they get the signatures, recreational marijuana will be on the ballot. If that's the case, pursuant to this resolution, there'll also be the ballot issue on tax on non-medical marijuana. And also on medical marijuana. And so it's all contingent based upon what the commission said is if they get the signatures in that first ballot issue on allowing recreational dispensaries or not. If that's, they get the requisite signatures for that, it's on the ballot, then they'll have the other 2 issues on tax. There'll have to be 2 separate ballot issues. So with the hospital levy one, there'll be 4 ballot issues, if that's the case.
But aren't you combining 2 things on one ballot? You're saying if it's approved, or if they, or whatever, if recreational, then there'll be a tax.
There'll be two separate ones. The first one would be, will they're allowed or not? Second one, if it is allowed, will there be tax or not? The 3% local option tax. So it'll be 2 separate ballot issues on that.
And then the third one is taxing medical, whether she tax medical.
Third ballot issue.
See, because I don't understand if it's gonna be allowed. We already know they voted against it. So it's illegal now.
I was talking about the vote on
Recreation.
the vote in November. If they allow it in November.
Did you have comment, Gail?
Gail Reaper for the record.
Can you come up here, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. So obviously, it's very confusing for all in just talking about it. I'm a visual person, so I wrote it out. Because there has to be 2 separate ballot issues, I guess you'd call it, for medical and for recreational. You have to separate them. Number 1. A question to you, Blaine, is it becomes illegal, recreation becomes illegal on the 5th.
Correct. September 4th, 2022 is the last day to sell recreational.
Right, so then it's on the ballot in November, then, and say it passes, just hypothetically, then it becomes legal again in January.
90 days from November, so yeah,
Oh.
December,
Gotcha.
January, February, so
not
90 days from the, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and, okay, that makes sense, but, and you have to have, but there also could be a special election, correct?
Correct, if there was a, say they didn't get the number of signatures required this time, they could do another petition and ask for a special election, correct, on recreation. Right now, they continue to do it, I disagree with that, but by statute, you continue to do petition, every.
And so that special election would be in the spring, or when would that special election occur?
It should be, I would say it should be requested in the petition on when they want the election.
Gotcha, okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
but,
You're
but-
saying that recreational, is, they don't get the signatures now, they do another petition next year. Yeah, I would, encourage, yeah, my thought would be that they put in the petition when they want a special election or have the election. Yeah,
So are you saying special election? They would want a special election again for or against the dispensaries?
for medical. Say it does,
oh, I thought you were talking about recreational,
or excuse me, I meant
Okay,
recreational,
all right.
oh Lord have mercy.
yeah.
Wow, and guess what, every state that has gone through this,
Yeah. It's a little.
you know, so we just have to be respectful to each other, that's all.
Yeah, right now you could, if recreational, they didn't get the signatures now, or the people voted against it in November, they could do another petition next year for recreational dispensary. To me, that's a problem with the statute, then hopefully we'll get fixed, but continue to do a revolving door. But my opinion would be right now is that the cost of that special election would be on the petitioner.
Correct,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
That's it.
Just public comment, I talked to Kelly Lynch, Montana League of Cities and Towns to make sure I was understanding that revolving and if her opinion was if she thought it was going to be put before the legislation again, and she said, no, she did not think that. That's, I mean, a lot of it is just, we have to wait and see
Yeah,
how the voters vote with this, but
yeah, you never know if, well, time's coming down to it on proposals of legislation, so.
sure,
yeah,
yes, yes, anyway. Thank you.
Go ahead,
So.
state your name again. please.
Justine Richmond, I'm sorry. We had been advised that should ballot issue number 1 not pass and allow recreational sales. Oh, no, I'm sorry, the opposite, that if it should, I'm not trying to confuse anybody, I'm so sorry. But we were advised that should ballot issue number 1 pass and allow recreational sales again, that there was not a 90-day grace period. That was silent in the legislation or in the statute.
So, let me clarify that, the tax would come in 90 days, my reading of the statute, yeah.
But the
But,
sales,
the sales, I'd have to double check the statute.
I don't think there's.
Yeah, I think it,
Cause we're making
Yeah.
history of it.
it's, the statute silent is what they said on the,
right?
yeah,
So-
yeah, I just spoke there.
Okay, so it sounds like. Should it pass, should ballot issue number 1 pass and recreational sales are allowed again in Granite County, then we'd have to find out. For sure, when they would be allowed again, it may not be 90 days.
Yeah,
It may be,
the final say on that's gonna be Department of Revenue's attorney. It's gonna have, yeah, but, I'll take a look at be willing to take a look at the statute. I think you're right. I don't recall seeing that effective date on.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
but the
So,
tax, the
yeah.
tax would be a 90
Tax
day.
in the statute, the tax is 90 days, yeah. And for, when it was prohibited, the statute says 90 days from the election, and Department of Revenue interpreted that from the date of the election and not from when the election is certified.
Just one comment, so you know that our 11:30 a.m. Granite County Medical Center CEO Maria Stockler is not available, so that's why I'm letting the resolution 2022 continue. So if there isn't any other public comment on resolution 2022, we will. Just one thing I'm going to say, and I've said this before, is there's a time frame here. And I'm certainly sorry that it's confusing all of a sudden. It's either don't put it on, which you requested us, please get it on. You just didn't want the medical on. You didn't feel you wanted the medical on.
Right.
So you basically said, okay, we're gonna close our doors. Yeah, you did. I can find it. You did. I can find it. You did. Okay, just okay, but there's this timeline that we have to get these two readings on the resolution. So, and we've discussed, and Chuck was for the medical marijuana, and then all of a sudden now he's not wanting to tax it. So people keep changing their minds on the reason we want the time frame. The reason we agreed to it is it's actually monetary because saves a special election and it gets us tax money maybe sooner. And also we don't have to wait 2 years down the road to put it back on a general ballot so that we can tax it. Am I stating this
Yeah, I
correctly?
think that's, not fully sure how Commissioner Adler was thinking about things, but I think that's the way that this discussion was last week. That's consistent. There was discussion last week about medical marijuana not bringing in that much revenue, and
Right.
so that,
Well,
yeah.
the
that's-
discussion was that should you not get the signatures, we're going to reject the whole resolution. And not even put the medical on there. Because it'd be moot
Yeah.
situation. So if you say, like, if you got it on, this is an if, this is up to the voters, this is where the voters decide. If they're confused, they're confused. If they're not, then if they're confused, they need educated. If they're not confused, they can vote. So if they said, no, we don't want recreational marijuana taxed and medical passed, I mean, that's really confusing to the elector or that'd be dumb.
I think if it's, I believe it's on, it's not gonna be, if they get the signatures, we have all the ballot issues on there. I think people will understand it.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
they want or they don't want a tax on it,
yeah,
both issues. So it's there.
gives the people the
Yeah.
power to make the decision.
Give the electors a little credit, I say. Yes,
So, the second reading will be next week.
yes, and where you wanted it tabled,
If you would have tabled it. then
We
you
would have
can't the
been-
second reading.
which,
Again, the second reading is not required by statute, it's required by the county's public participation. Resolution requires 2 readings.
okay. So the second one by public, yeah,
It's- You guys, public participation resolution requirement.
No, it's just report on action.
Jeff was gonna call in 11:50.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I think it's just. I mean, I have it on our. Agenda. For 3 straight months. We'll try to make people, but the last one about what. So. Yeah. Just like. Cause I think. So you get. Now we get a special.
time for the band.
This is not just.
I know there's an easier way to do this. I'm always trying to get ahead. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, that's.
Smoke moving in there.
Yeah, I mean, I just ran on.
Good new glasses, Blanche.
Get some different shoes on.
That's what they do in the NBA now.
You.
I do.
For, should.
No, it's not for shits and giggles. It was an accident. They're the same, but they're different. colors.
Have you seen the NBA players that do that? I mean, they'll have one pink and one purple shoe.
Oh, I have. Yeah, I'm
Say your hip.
follow the trend.
That might be Chuck. Yeah. Chuck's calling him.
Oh. Oops, must have hung up.
Let's see what his number.
Colors. Try us again. Hello,
Yes, is this Commissioner's office?
yes, it is.
By chance, would any of the commissioners be available and would like to spend a few minutes on the phone with Alan Miller?
What's this regarding to?
Well, it's just regarding a personal opinion on the marijuana discussion that was held here mid-month July, and I just wanted to provide just an opinion to one of the commissioners or all three of them. I don't care. I probably will not go to a meeting, but anyway, that's what it's about.
So we have probably a couple minutes if you wanted to make a comment.
Okay, and whom am I talking to?
You're
Is this Blanche?
talking with Commissioner McClure. This is
Oh,
Blanche.
Okay, yeah, Blanche, Alan Miller, we live just south of the park. And I'm not here to complain irrationally. I thought the directions that I read in the mail were fairly reasonable. But I thought it was interesting when Mr. Richmond, and I'll call it, let's have some taxation for representation. My words, sorry about that. And I'll be the first to answer or admit I'm not clever enough to really understand the state mandated code and the situations we have with the marijuana in our state at this time. So I'm blind, but I'm admitting I am blind. And I thought it was quite interesting that he actually mentioned or actually said, even though the county has outlawed the recreational sale shops, that he is selling recreational marijuana. And that's why I mentioned something in the code. I would have thought if we, I don't know what the state expected if we didn't have the shops. And I don't know what the commissioners expected either, but that's just because I don't have that knowledge. And I thought, well, yeah, I understand the medical part, and he's selling that. Well, evidently he is selling tremendous excess for recreational out of wherever his shop is at. And I thought, I just thought that was in some cases there may be a county attorney saying we're going to sue for action. I have no idea, Blanche, what could have come of this. Anyway, drop that subject. Go on to the next one.
This is Blaine Bradshaw, the county attorney. Can I respond to you there?
Yes.
So how's it going? With the vote in June, the statute says the prohibition doesn't go in for 90 days. So September 4th, 2022 is the last day for him for
Okay.
anyone to have recreational marijuana dispensaries in Granite County. They're,
Okay.
so they're trying to, they're trying to get enough signatures to get on their petition to get it back on the ballot in November though, but
Right,
they don't
yeah,
have the number yet.
yes, I understand that,
Okay.
and I understand the commissioners, and I appreciate their approach of, do we really want to do this again? One final thing, being I'm on speakerphone, I guess it bothers me that I see people, and I'm gonna call them activists, quote unquote, and in this particular case, trying to introduce our county population and our school population, our 3,000 people in our county, to basically the gateway of federal illicit drug usage. And that's why, of course, I do not vote for anything that accepts marijuana. I do have the comprehension of maybe saying, I understand a little bit of medical stuff, but I think that's just, we're sweeping it under the rug until we get another problem. And I guess that's my statement. I just wanted to make a couple little comments like that. I think, from actually my understanding of most of the commissioners and yourself, is we probably all feel we have shifted far too actively into destroying our republic at this time, and it just continues. So it's upsetting all of us. But anyway, I just wanted to appreciate the opportunity to let a little opinion from just one individual in the county, maybe, but a little opinion for the commissioners to utilize.
Okay, thank you so much.
I appreciate it, Lance, and
Okay.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.
You bet. I will have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
So we have waiting for Chuck to call in.
You wanna call him? It's 3519-859-3519 is his name.
3519.
Yeah.
I thought he was going somewhere, though, driving to
Oh.
maybe.
Let's sell them.
3519. He doesn't have a cell, does he?
Yeah,
Oh, he does?
yeah, I'm giving up. Maybe try his home first.
Yeah, he's probably not home yet.
Just so you know, there's a wasp.
What happens? Do I try to call?
I tried the,
them?
I tried the home,
Home?
you try his home number. Yeah, there's
Hello?
Hi, you're home.
Yeah, I was just gonna call, just trying to call.
Oh, you were? Okay, we had someone on the line giving their opinion on something, so on marijuana and all its bad
yeah.
forms. So, okay, so the agenda, the emergency facilities land use agreement, discussion and decision.
So I move to accept the emergency land use agreement.
So did you want any discussion at all on it, or do we need discussion, Blaine?
Well, number one, with the county has a permit for a portion of the airport. Under that permit, it says you will allow them to use it in these times. They're already using it as emergency. The agreement looks acceptable to me. I don't see any issues with it.
Okay, so I will second your motion.
Okay.
Is there any public comment? Okay, motion passes. I'll say aye. I say all.
Aye,
Aye.
aye.
All right. Thanks.
Okay, thanks. See
Bye.
ya. Bye.
So yours is just discussion. Is this the same thing? Okay, now we're gonna. I don't think we have to wait till 12. Should we wait till 12 for this, or?
It's up to you.
Okay, we'll wait. We'll, we have no one on.
No one's on Zoom.
We can just. Mayor Gail Leeper from Drummond with an Action Inc. update discussion.
Gail Leeper for the record. So I gave the summary report, and it looks like you guys have a copy of it. And there was acronyms also with it, which helped me out greatly. So this is a year-end report too. What I've learned is that the Helping Granite County to either for housing or weather or whatever else, well, the LEAP is kind of in that, without divulging names, you know, HIPAA, a lot of people are the elderly. It is what I get from asking questions over there, but one of the things I'd like to do is petition actioning to be able to maybe give us gift cards for law enforcement to be able to get people that are stranded in Drummond to, whether they're going west or east, to a place that has housing for that. They do, Actioning does help in Granite County down at the north end by providing over $500 a year for turkeys for the community Christmas stuff. And so I am the representative from Granite County, but certainly anybody can listen in on those meetings every other month. That's it. That's all I got. Just wanna, and I'll probably be back next month to report on headlines. It would be great if a commissioner could come.
Would it?
No, absolutely. A, networking. B, I don't specifically know what's going on up here. All the time, I mean, I try to find out to report to them, but anyway, I think it was.
So is this what you're saying for
Headwaters.
Action Inc?
No, for Headwaters.
Meetings by Zoom.
No, they're in person now, and I know for the commissioners, because you guys started sending me the beginning of the year.
Yeah, you did go, and I
And
wasn't
it-
sure if you're
and it-
still going.
Yeah, and I agree, it would be great help to have a commissioner, because there's so many things they talk about as far as like the spending of their ARPA dollars, and I can reiterate whatever you guys
Right,
have said or
right.
done, but it would be nice to, I don't feel comfortable speaking to decisions you're gonna make.
So
So
anyway,
when's the next meeting?
I will get it to these guys to
Okay.
let you know. It's usually, I
On
don't
Thursday.
believe it's until September.
Okay,
So,
and where is it
in
going to
Butte.
be in September?
in Butte,
In Butte.
yes.
So when you get your information, if you want to just go ahead and
Yep, I'll send
I
it
will
on
go
to you.
ahead. and-
Well, I can come up and pick you up
Okay,
and
That'll work.
drive that way.
Okay.
That's fine too.
Sure.
If you, I mean, I'm going.
yeah, I will do that for you.
You should go, I got lost in the building.
Yeah, it's
It's a
kind of,
big
it's an
building.
old building and there's many.
many
lights. Thornton building. And,
I went in the wrong exit and the right exit, and I was on the wrong floor. and then-
yeah, but anyway, thank you. I just wanna make sure I report and
Thank you, Mayor, for your update.
Yes,
And I think this was the last item on the agenda, and I think we can adjourn. So I'd say adjourn, Blanche. Okay, will do.
Can I look at that real quick?